I don't know. In a world where everyone's trying to be a P365 or a Glock 19 size, I just don't know if there's a place in the world for subcompacts like this. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it. Accurate as hell, though. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So I have the Canik TP9 Elite SC, the subcompact. This is Canik's first introduction into the small subcompact market, and it is by far the smallest Canik that has hit the market as well. I think it was released maybe 6 months ago. I've had this in for a couple of months now, put hundreds of rounds through her. Ran into a couple of issues actually, and I'll tell you right now, the one issue I ran into was not only a couple of just regular malfunctions here and there, not too bad, just kind of sprinkled in there, but the actual slide, stop, slide, release, right here, the spring, and I'll roll in a picture right here, the spring that is attached to that to make sure that you can actually, when you go ahead and want to rack a round in, rather than hit the slide, you can pull back. That spring became detached, so you couldn't pull back, and you had to actuate essentially a limp slide release, which is very odd. I've never seen that before, but it was an easy fix. You just drag the spring back in, hook it back over the little piece there, and you're good to go. That was the only real issue I had. Like I said, I had a couple of malfunctions which could have been related to that early on, but overall it shoots really smooth, really accurate. You get a couple of magazines with her. You get this one right here. It's a little kind of 15 rounder, real typical size you might see with the other Caniks, and it fits just like that. A little bit of a gap missing right there, but it's nice. You can fit in your hand pretty good there. And again, it's a subcompact, so I'll show you in a second what it compares to. For size, you got a smaller magazine right here. This is their 12 rounder, little pinky extension right there. All right, so let's go ahead, put a few more rounds through her, and then hit the table and compare it to some other sizes, and then I'll show you a little bit more close up on this new handgun. Very accurate, excellent trigger, pretty much the exact same trigger you've seen in the Elite, which I do have as well. That spring is fixed now. With some force. That was probably me that time. But, oh, wait. I don't know. Maybe the mag? Yeah, that mag. You know, I think I've had that other issue before, actually. This little 12 rounder does not want to lock back on the last round. Interesting. $15 rounder does. There's a data point right there. It's weird. Let's try that little 12 rounder again. That locked back. I don't know. Very strange. A lot of strange things going on around this gun. I step back to the 25-yard line. See how she does. I mean, she doesn't lose any accuracy with that shortened slide and a little bit shorter barrel there. I mean, she's still hammering them out like a champ. Pretty much dead center. Can't complain about accuracy whatsoever. And again, that trigger, very nice. Yeah, can't complain there either. I love the Elite Series trigger. Kind of a flimsy little outside the waistband holster that it comes with, but it is a holster and it comes with it. So, I mean, not too bad. So here's the hard plastic case that it comes with. It's lockable, opens up just like that, little sliders. Open her up. And on the top here, you'll see You have your manuals, you'll have your little wire cleaning brush and a little push rod right in here, tucked away, so that's nice to have. And on the bottom is the good stuff. All right, so kind of going right to left here, we have a couple of little things that are just right on top, no real place for them. Trigger lock right here, quality control stamp, chamber flag. Both those will be attached to the firearm when you get it. 15 round magazine, you've seen. This is kind of cool, it's a little toolkit. And in here, opens up just like that. Extra screws, wrenches, and that is for the RMR cut on top. We'll talk about that in a second. And actually, before we go into that, you have a flush base plate. If you're looking to conceal carry this particular firearm, you can make it flush on one or more of the magazines, just like that. Back strap, this is the large one. All right, I have the small one on there. This is just kind of more my size, but if you have really big hands, this might be good for you. Plate for the red dot sight right there for the cutout. The handgun itself, 12-hour magazine, pink extension, currently in the handgun when you get it, and it is inside of its holster. Of course, unloaded, nothing in there. The holster is, I mean, it's nice. I mean, it looks like it could be flipped to do almost an inside the waistband. It is very, very flimsy, though. It's not really a real nice Kydex holster you're usually used to, but it's better than what they used to come with. It just doesn't have much of a retention there. Kind of wobbly, honestly, but it's good. It's free, comes with it. Can't complain. Good for the range. All right, here she is, up close. And there is that red dot cutout right there. All right, and you'll see in a second how it compares to the other Elite series, which is just the regular compact looking one, not the subcompact. It's the same width pretty much. I don't know why they did this, but they actually made this a Shield RMS or one of the new SIG Romeo Zero red dots, so one of the real small micro red dots. They're brand new to the market in the last year or so. They haven't really been proven too much, haven't really been tested out too much. They're polymer and they're real small. I feel like they could have put a regular red dot on here, but maybe they thought it was too big for a subcompact. I don't know, but I don't have one of those. But basically, you just take those screws out. You can either use the plate, depending on which one you have, make it fit nice and flush in there, and you got a nice red dot. But speaking of sights, honestly, this is the way to go. These are my favorite: serrated blackout rear, square, front, night sight. All right, that is by far my favorite sight picture. Real easy to pick up, and a lot of handguns are going this way. So trigger, very similar to any other Canik if you picked one up before. All right, a little bit of take up. Very short, crisp reset. Very nice triggers right out of the box. Some of the best in the industry, honestly, for a stock trigger, and especially for the price point. So you kind of stack a little bit there, hit like a little wall right there. You have a little bit to go until that break. Very nice trigger. So you do need to pull the trigger to actually take down the firearm. So make sure she's clear, pull that trigger, and then just pull back just a little bit. That little notch you'll see in the slide needs to go kind of right in the middle of the takedown lever. Pull that down. See what I did there, both sides. Pull it down. Okay. And this pops right off. All right, so it doesn't slide forward like a typical handgun. The Caniks recently in the last few years have switched it over to it slides forward just a little bit and then pops off like so. All right, and then you can go ahead, spring and guide rod. Probably needs a good cleaning, honestly. And you take it out. This is a tungsten Cerakoted slide over a nitrided slide finish. So you have the nice tungsten color there. They come in a bunch of different colors, at least I think they will. The other ones do, like black and tan and all that good stuff. So here is that issue with the spring you saw. that spring was underneath that lever, which meant this was limp, which you can imagine means you can't use it. Or you can't use it well. You could hold it up or hold it down and try to fidget with it to make it actuate, but without that spring, you don't have that tension on there. Everything else has been great. I think that spring could have been a problem with the factory. It hasn't happened again. Maybe it was just not set right or set right on the ledge or something. But still kind of weird for a QC to go through and that spring was already off. But I don't know, it seemed to run really good for a little bit when I first took her out, and then that spring went off. Maybe it was like just hanging on by just the ledge there, and then it kind of had some issues, but seems to be working now. So only issue, and that might have caused some of the jams honestly as well, because that slide release was just kind of wobbling there and could have easily caused a jam by just the recoil alone. It could have just popped up just a little bit, because you see the spring pushes it down as well as allows you to lock the slide back on the last round. So pretty important little part there, and I hope that doesn't mess up again. It's not a hard fix to do, but it is definitely not good if you were using this for self-defense. If that happened while you actually needed this firearm to go bang, and there was a problem with it messing up with that spring there. So something to make note there. All right, put back together. Same thing, notch lines up. All you do, slide it back, you're back in business. So Canik Elite Subcompact, and this right here is the Canik Elite, the original. All right, it's been out a few years now, and it's pretty much the exact same firearm as this one, except this one, of course, is shrunken down. I've had this for a few years, zero issues, so it was kind of surprising to have that spring issue in this one, because this had no malfunctions at all, and I've shot thousands of rounds through her. I mean, this is a lot of fun. Same exact trigger. And that was honestly the reason why I bought this handgun, because this trigger is phenomenal. And this is, again, this is another like around that $400 mark for a handgun. All right, so I'll show you real quick. Very similar in size, almost the exact same handgun, just kind of shrunken down, which is why I mentioned that RMR cut should have been, honestly, just an RMR cut rather than a micro kind of shield or Sig Romeo Zero there. Very, very similar on all sides. All right. Sights, though, are definitely different now. Still have that kind of squared off serrated black rear, but the front here is a fiber optic, and I think I messed up and told you it was a night sight. It's just a greenish hue to it. It's actually not a night sight. It's just kind of a white-green dot there. I was kind of just thinking back at a couple other handguns that have recently come out that are almost always coming out with these night sights now in the front, and that is the way I do enjoy shooting with iron sights that way. But still, I mean, it's a nicer than I think fiber optic, honestly. A little bit brighter, a little bit easier to pick up. You see that? But either way, works good. All right, so that is that compared to their original Elite. Here is a Smith & Wesson 2.0 compact. They're 4-inch. Of course, this has a threaded barrel and a weapon light on there, but just to give you an idea, and this is why I said in the beginning there, you know, I'm struggling to kind of jump on the subcompact bandwagon. I mean, it's a good size, but it's just not that much smaller, honestly. I just don't know, but it's really, I'm going to leave it up to you guys if it's worth losing that extra like inch or so, you know, compared to the Smith & Wesson even. All right, and then the real big one, this right here. Everyone knows all about the Sig P365. This is my daily carry. It's currently my absolute favorite carry so far. I used to carry the Shield for a long time, the Smith & Wesson Shield, actually the 1.0. Now they have like the 2.0 out, but this is just phenomenal. Accurate, lightweight, small, compact. Have a different variety of magazines you can load in here. All right, you can carry a couple extra spare mags. But here's the crazy part. You can almost carry the same exact amount in this 365 as you can with this subcompact. They make 12 rounders. I actually carried this with a 10 rounder, and then you have a 12 or 15 rounder as a backup. So I mean, again, personal preference. A little bit thicker slide on the Elite there. Obviously a little bit bigger overall, but there you go, another data point for you guys. And I have these out, so might as well check the weight real quick. Unloaded subcompact, 22.5 ounces. Unloaded compact, or the original TP9 Elite, 25.6, so a little more. Unloaded Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. Going to be a little bit heavier, but still, I mean, look, with a weapon light and a threaded barrel, it's very similar to that original Elite there. And unloaded P365, nothing special. Yep, super light, as expected. So, there you go. So Caniks have always been known for their affordability as well as their reliability for the most part. And it's kind of odd to see some issues with this particular one, but honestly, she just runs, no issues at all typically. And I mean, that's just kind of what you've known from Canik in the past. So subcompact, a little bit smaller, Elite, just kind of shaved down at the bottom, a little bit shaved down on the barrel and the slide, but it doesn't seem to affect the accuracy at all. So I'll go ahead and find one of these guys. If you're looking to pick these up, you can get them here and there. They're under 400 bucks currently, so I'll grab some links and drop them down in the comments below. If you have any questions at all, hit them in the comments below as well. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, it really helps me out. And if you want, head on over to Instagram, follow us there, like us on Facebook for all the latest and greatest deals on the internet, and I'll see you in the next review.